Well, good afternoon, viewers. Today we have an 11 Honda CR-V, and it has a pretty significant noise in the drivetrain. It sounds like a bad U-joint or something, and I noticed there's a significant amount of play in the rear end. Now, I'm going to set this camera up so you can see this better. So if you look at that left inner CV joint, I don't think it's supposed to turn inside there like that. I said when I drove it, it sounded like a CV joint rattle, but it was going straight forward when it was rattling. So this thing needs a CV shaft on this side for sure. Let's see what the other side looks like. Well, the CV boot seems to be compromised on this side, but the joint doesn't have play in it like the other side does. So it needs one. Well, I could probably use both CV shafts, but this left side for sure. I wonder if that'll go out through the wheel bearing. I know, like on a Ford Explorer, it'll go out through the wheel bearing. No, this won't go through the wheel bearing, so you have to take the bearing assembly out or upper knuckle joint off or something. This is not going to come apart very cooperatively to get that. Well, let's see about parts.
So I'm recording video with these Lark M2 wireless lavalier microphones. They were like 10 times the price of the ones that I was using over there. But they have active noise cancellation that can be disabled. I've got it enabled right now, so there's my furnace running in the background up here. And I got a little blower fan, a little electric heater going over on the shop over there. So we're back working on this CR-V. We're gonna change the CV shafts today. Hopefully this goes all right. I got both sides. I figured it might as well do both because the CV boot is compromised on the right side, and there is a little bit of play in the joint as well. So we're going to start with the left side, see how that goes. Well, I've undone the upper knuckle pivot 17 mil head bolt, removed the brake caliper, two 17 mil head bolts, 36 millimeter nut on the axle shaft, and tilted the axle out, or the knuckle out, as far as it'll go. I don't want to take the knuckle right off. Now, if you look at the inboard section of the spline, it's about 3 inches long, where the outboard section is about 4 inches long. So I'm thinking if I can pry it from the inside out here and disengage it from the axle shaft or from the differential, I might be able to pull it down and then slide it this way. So I'm going to give that a try. So this is not working as planned. I need another inch to pry that axle shaft out of the differential. Use a flat bladed screwdriver right here and give it a sharp push. Now I've got a piece of pipe attached to the wheel studs here, so I can push it down. I've got the ABS wire released from the clips so that it doesn't get stretched to the end of its travel. But I can't quite get it. Maybe if I had a helper to push down on this axle pipe here. I don't want to disturb the caster camber or the camber adjustments here if I don't have to. So I'm thinking about unbolting the diff from the housing. I might do that, but we'll see. So I managed to get it with the help of my neighbor, who come and put a pipe on the end of this knuckle and pulled down on it while I pried it up from the inside. Pushed it up into that corner up there, and then around here and then out. And the new one actually went in easier. Now I still have to push it in, but I'm going to reattach the upper knuckle here. A knuckle pivot. So I've got it together. Put the suspension near ride height before you torque this bolt up. I'm not sure if this is a bonded bushing in here. It doesn't have play in it, so tighten it up at ride height. That's best advice. I used a piece of pipe and a flange on the floor and let the vehicle down. The torque on this is 181 foot-pounds. And then stake the nut in the gap there. Now we get to repeat the steps on the other side. It actually went in easier than it came out. I think that other joint was, I'll show you what it looks like. So the balls may have been piled up in there and preventing it from going this way. But nevertheless, what I did seemed to work. We'll see if it works on the other side. So you can see this inner CV boot is compromised. There was play in the joint as well, so we're changing this side. So I got the upper knuckle bolt released. I got the brake hose bolt released. Brake caliper out of the way and up on top of the upper strut arm. And we'll pry this out by just popping a screwdriver in here and giving it a sharp wrap. I'll show you. So put a screwdriver in behind, and also note that the slinger is flush with the outside edge, so you know that it's installed completely. And just go like that. This one's almost out. Comes out almost by itself. Got about an inch to pry that knuckle over, so I'll get my helper again. So that's the right side done. Again, 181 foot-pounds, and then stake the nut. I had to retain the ABS speed sensor because the plastic clip broke when I popped it off. Just put 2 tie wraps on it like that, that'll be fine. Brake caliper reinstalled, and again, torque this bolt with it at ride height by supporting it with a jack or a jack stand like I did here. I got this homemade stand. Put the wheels back on, 80 foot-pounds for the wheel nuts, and should be good to go. We got to do a service and scan this thing for codes. But that's it for now. So I did a network scan of all the controllers because he mentioned that the MIL was illuminated. It wasn't on when I started the vehicle after doing the servicing, as a history code for P0420 catalyst efficiency below threshold. So it likely needs a catalytic converter. It's got 311,000 kilometers or 316,000 kilometers on it. Tire pressure sensors, because I don't think these winter tires have sensors in them. There is a code in the electronics in the body control system for driver's door key cylinder switch input circuit malfunction. It says simultaneous input of lock and unlock signal. So it might have a broken wire between the driver's door and the pillar, or a faulty switch in the key cylinder. Now I don't know what that's going to affect. Probably the operation of the key cylinder if you use the key cylinder to open the door, which I believe he probably doesn't. He probably uses the remote. And it would only affect the operation of the electrical side of the other circuits. Aside from that, no other faults in the OBD2 system P0420. So we'll discuss this with the customer, but we're likely not going to repair this for now. We're just going to take note of it. Thanks for watching.